All right, welcome everybody to the Wisdom Movement Method podcast. I'm your host, Bryan Wisdom. Today, we're going to interview a success story. We're going to interview Jenean, talk to her about what she did to see great results in really a shorter amount of time. She has done really, really well. And so, Jenean, nice to see you. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, nice to see you, Bryan.
I want to ask you, tell us a little bit about your transformation. You're not new to fitness and you've done well through the years. So tell us about some of the success you've had as of late and how you did it.
Okay. So as you stated, I've been working out most of my life, but I've been on that roller coaster ride of ups and downs and ups and downs. And prior to coming into Fitness Together, I had put on quite a bit of weight. It had been like a year since I had worked out.
Yeah.
And once I came in,
which is normal too with 2020, 2021, and people taking, so many people took time off. Yeah.
Right,
How long were you off? About 9 months, a year? Like how long were you?
Yeah, it was probably about 9 months, something like that, 9 or 10 months. I always round it up and just say a year, but it had been several months.
Okay.
And it was, and during that time, I had visited different gyms to see if it's somewhere I wanted to join. And I was really struggling to find a place that felt right, that felt like I could be successful there. It's amazing how many gyms I went to. And then I made a phone call to you because I saw a post on Facebook, and just right away, just from our conversation, it felt good.
Okay.
And so I came in and met everybody, and the trainers were amazing. And I did a trial workout. And from there, I just, it was the right place for me to be. And I just stayed consistent.
What did you like about, because again, you've trained at a number of different places. What did you like about this environment compared to other spots?
Well, I like the fact that it was one-on-one training in a private suite. I don't like doing big classes where you don't get a lot of focus. You don't know if your form is correct. You could end up getting hurt. I felt like, okay, I've been doing nothing for, several months, almost a year. I really need to make sure I do it right, or I could end up being, out for 6 months with an injury. So that felt really good. And then, as being products of what we just went through the last few years with COVID, the fact that it was in a private suite and it wasn't a big gym full of people with lots of little bugs going around. That was very attractive to me as well. And then the trainers, they're just so knowledgeable. Everyone I worked out with, because I tried to work out with all of them. I haven't focused on just one trainer because each one of them brings a different skill set, a different, knowledge base to the table. So I've learned from every one of them, and I continue to try to train with all of them.
What would you say to that person in that 40, because we specialize in working with that 40 plus population, 50 plus population. And what would you say to that person that's interested in training, but they don't know, if they're going to get hurt, or compared to other experiences? What was the FT experience like for you?
Oh, absolutely. They should go to FT and do the personal private trainings, because you don't have to worry about, is my form correct and all that. They'll make sure that it's correct. They've stopped me in the middle of exercise and said, you can't do it that way. That's going to cause you shoulder pain as you get older. You want to make sure you're doing it this way so that you can continue to lift throughout.
When you were starting, you had a little bit of shoulder stuff, and we had to make sure to get the shoulders back and to track well so that and then you were fine. No problem after that.
Right. There was one shoulder that I always kind of have up higher than the other.
And common.
I can't tell you how many times I was stopped and told to get that shoulder down. And so now I'm very conscious of it and making sure they're level when I'm doing my.
And in a group class, they're just good people doing good things. You can't track everybody in there. And we're honing in on you and helping you.
And I won't mention the place, but there is a place that does, very intense group training. And I did get hurt there. And I was out for 6 months because I had an injury.
Oh,
and
okay.
Because there was no one who could focus on me. And that's why I believe so much in personal training and having that one-on-one.
What was it? Was it a shoulder or a knee, a back? What was tweaked? What got hurt?
It was my back, my lower back.
It caused 6 months. That's a long time too. So that's the other challenge. You go into a place and you're like ready to train, you're ready to see results. And then if you get injured, it's 2 steps, 1 step forward, 2 steps back, which is frustrating. Well, tell us this, you killed it over the last number of months. Tell us how much weight loss you've had. I know because all the numbers actually are behind because you've done better than all the things that I have on record. How much weight have you lost so far?
Well, I went from 172 pounds to
Okay.
145 pounds.
Wow.
And
That is awesome.
I've seen a decrease in my percent body fat. I was in the 30 range, I think right at 32%.
Okay.
I'm in the 20s now, like 26%.
You're right in that healthy range now.
Yeah, I
That's
feel
awesome.
great. My
What about
clothes
your
feel
what about
good.
your waist? What about your waist? I feel like that ties into clothes too, but I think your waist is down what, 3 inches, 2 or 3 inches?
It's probably more than that because we haven't measured it recently, but the last time we measured it was like 3 inches. Yeah.
And I interrupt you. Sorry about that. Your clothes. Tell us about that. What is the
That,
clothes?
that's okay. It's just that my clothes fit and feel good now, whereas before I would put them on and they were tight and I just felt miserable. And it sets the tone for the day when you try to get ready and nothing fits, it just makes the whole day feel bad.
Right.
So it's just been it's been a life-changing experience for me to train there at FT and get myself together.
What made you decide to do this? I know you were talking about a big birthday year. Like, why were you so motivated?
I was so motivated because I turned 50 this year and I was determined I was not going to be in bad shape at 50. I wanted people to look at me and be surprised that I was 50 years old. And I have had that experience when I tell
I'm surprised. I didn't realize that as we're talking. That's so significant too, because you went, 25 pounds the right way. And think about it, if you just did what so many people do, is you go 25 pounds the other way.
Yeah.
Think about that. Then you're like, oh my, so you really just made a decision that I'm going to make a change. You've had success. You've trained in the past. You know the success of training. And then you just went in and did it. I mean, so cool to see that. What would you say? Yeah, go for it. Yeah, you're going to say
Well,
something.
I just wanted to give you some kudos too, because you do run some awesome contests. And one of the things that really just got things really moving for me was when you did the frequency challenge. And I just decided when you put that up, I'm like, I'm going to win that. Now I'm in second because, I have to travel for work and things like that. So there were 2 days out of the time you did that challenge that I couldn't be there. So Andrea was able to get that first place spot. But I came every day and she and I were neck and neck, and it was this great competition, which made it a lot of fun too. But that's when I really started to see the pounds drop and started to see my body change. I started to see shoulders and arms, and it was exciting.
That's such an important point. Well, absolutely. And the cool thing is that when you see results in the beginning, there's more motivation. So you just went in, you didn't question, should I come in 4 times a week? You're like, I'm going to do this. And then your body changes, and then you're happy, and then you keep going. And that's a great point.
And one of the things I wanted to say is, along with if you put things on and they're tight and you don't feel good, it sets the tone for the day. The other thing that sets the tone for the day is coming in and getting that workout with the trainers, and they're so upbeat and they motivate you. Every time I would walk out the door, Ian would look at me and say, make good choices. And so when I would stand in front of that ice cream in the freezer section of the grocery store, I could hear him say, make good choices, just turn and walk away. I was like, I'm not going to do it.
And so that's cool.
So I felt that throughout the day. So I always said my favorite hour of the day is when I come in and have that time at FT. And then the rest of the day was good, and I could make good choices.
Well, listen, you answered all my questions just by sharing this with me. So listen, thank you so much for taking the time. You're doing awesome, and you're inspiring other people, because we're going into that busy season where so often it's Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, holiday season, and people typically put on 5, 6, 7 pounds. And you've gone the other direction where you've gotten in great shape. And we will do more challenges to motivate, to keep people on task, because that's the biggest thing too. People can just stay on task over the season. We're coming to 2 is such a big deal. You have killed it. And what would you say to that person that's interested or like nervous? Should I train? Should I not train? Maybe that 40, 50 plus population. What encouragement could you give them?
Don't hold back. It's so worth it. It's so worth it. You might even feel awkward the first couple of workouts or something like that till you get used to it, but don't. It's so worth it in the end to do the work. It's great.
Jenean, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, I'll see you later.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Bye, bye everybody.